The CEO of Twitter, Dick Costolo here, and we started the conversation talking about our mutual alma mater, the University of Michigan, and now I asked if there's any way that the Twitter accounts of anything associated with Ohio State or Ohio State football could be shut down or altered in any way. A Twitter user, at Frank Wolf 1980, says, instead of begging for Buckeye Twitter accounts to be shut down, maybe you should focus on beating Rutgers this year.
Wow, that is fantastic.
See, now, this is what this brings open a whole different line of communication.
Yeah, it's
on Twitter.
Look, you know, to be perfectly fair,
yeah,
they've got a whole long way to go on those kinds of things that they can roll out.
But
they
got
Ohio
State,
yeah, they've
even
got more in their back pocket they can use.
Now, here's the issue too: is he's got an egg avatar.
By the way, can I just say something?
Yeah.
Rutgers is a fun word to say when you're saying something like that.
Right.
It's just a fun word to say. It sounds fun.
Well,
yeah,
well, you're a former stand-up comic.
Yeah, I'm just saying. That's what I'm saying. So that was an
Rutgers.
excellent of the losses that we had.
Yeah.
Irrespective of the quality of the team.
Right.
The sound of Rutgers is a fun thing to say.
The same thing of Piscataway, where right, where
Correct.
Rutgers.
It's fun to say Rutgers.
We're nearby, or is isn't there East Brunswick? Isn't that where they are? Brunswick? All the funny words.
That's correct.
But this also brings up, they have the egg avatar.
They do.
Dick, and normally the egg avatar, is there
you
a
don't care for that?
Well, here's the thing, is that the scientific, have you done the data numbers?
Yes.
That the number of egg avatars equals the number of trolls that are found on Twitter? Usually that...
It's what new users get if they haven't uploaded their photo. And,
right, I know that,
yeah.
but it just seems like to me the amount of trolling that I receive.
I see.
Normally,
it happens to be from egg avatar people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No question about it. And that sort of does bring up the concept of trolling and what Twitter is doing about it. And you had an internal memo that got out.
I had an internal memo, that got out, that got leaked. Can I just say one thing about that?
Please.
I never say things in my internal memos like, we suck at this, or this sucks. I generally don't use that kind of language. I try to be a little bit more sophisticated in my internal communications. Of all the internal notes I've ever sent out, that one turns out to be the one where I'm embarrassing my mom and dad about the crass language I'm using that gets leaked.
But is it, in your mind, an accurate portrayal about how Twitter handles
I wouldn't have
trolls?
said it to the whole company if I didn't believe it. We need to do... the reason I sent that note with that tone of voice and took responsibility for it myself is because I want everyone in the company to know how much more aggressive we're going to get about it, and right away.
How can you get
There are a bunch of ways you can get more aggressive about it. I think, a general statement, I don't want you to people to read too much into this, is like, you may have the right to say what your opinions are, but you don't have the right to come in my living room and, start bonking me on the head with your opinion. So you may have the right to say whatever you want to say on Twitter, but you don't have the right to just show up in my mentions timeline, swearing at me. So those kinds of things we're going to get a lot more aggressive about, and in short order.
And by kicking them off for good?
No, you don't even have to. I think it's, in some cases, it doesn't even... Look, there are gradations of these things. There are some things that'll get you suspended for good, and there are some things that we're just... You can say it, but we're not going to put it in your mentions timeline, so you don't have to, you don't have to see it. And it's... Again, there are various gradations of these things. If you just keep swearing at me over and over and over again, we don't have to put those things in your mentions timeline.
And is there ever going to be some form of a Twitter channel? Something where a Twitter TV, something where perhaps you get into a business like that?
I think there'll be more native mobile video on the platform. And by native, I mean like video that's primarily produced for mobile and primarily consumed on mobile. And there'll be a lot more of that on Twitter, and we're doing a bunch of things there, both on Vine and through Twitter itself. And I expect to see a lot more happening in that space in the next year.
Terrific. Is there, so for me as a Twitter user, I should expect more ads on my timeline coming up soon, somewhere less than the number of ads that have been attributed to you per tweet?
No, that was more about how I was trying to help the market model how you can think about the long-term potential of where things might go and where ceilings are, et cetera, so they can run their financial models. Not anything that's starting tomorrow, you're going to see X, Y, Z.
Okay. Do we have a question?
Yeah,
One more
just
question?
kind of was wondering about like, dormant accounts
Yeah.
and follower. You know, a lot of people have followers that either don't tweet or they lay dormant for a long time, or people can't get user names they want. Do you guys have a timeline of anything like that where a user doesn't use it?
Yeah, we just talked about that internally the other day. We're gonna put a little what I'd call it a scrappy plan together to do some things about some of the inactive names and dormant names that people want in short order, as opposed to trying to put together an entire, international product roadmap for how we deal with those things, and then it takes us a long time to get it out. Because we want to get something going there. It's been a while where we've had some of those inactive usernames that people want to grab onto, and we want to be able to do something with them. So we're going to start firing something up there in the next month or so.
And most of the questions that I'm getting also are more than 140 characters. Now, I know there's a twit longer and things of that nature, but just maybe creating a whole new platform where it's a 200 character, 220 character, or something like that.
Yeah, I think what we want to do first is just make it easier for new users to drop into Twitter and get it right away.
Right.
And that's the work that most of the work we're doing now is around organizing content around topics and events for those kinds of users.
Okay, so just to sum up, you will or will not run a 40-yard dash and upload the video. Run it at Twitter. Run it in your office. You will or you will not?
Of all the things you can put me on the spot about, that's probably the easiest one you can put me on the spot about. So I'll say yes.
Okay.
But we can work on the timing of it.
Okay, work on the timing of it.
Yeah.
The Eisen font, I
Yeah, I knew you were going to come. I knew we were going to come back to that. That's why I committed to the 40-yard dash. See, now I have some flexibility around the Eisen font.
I mean, I understand that. That's why I'm saying
How many commitments do you want from me in one visit?
Many. I'm a man. I'm a man with many needs, and I could call me needy. It's fine, but I mean, to me, it just seems like such a natural thing just to see the different.
Of course it does. It's named after you, so to you it seems natural.
Oh, don't even name it after me. I don't need credit.
Oh, now,
I just want to leave you in a better. Yeah, now I'm being humble. That's a humble brag. That's a humble brag. Okay, so let's just refresh one more time. Since you came on this show, the stock has gone up. This is fantastic. I mean, look at this. It's gone up. It's gone up darn near 30 cents.
It's doubled again since the last time you mentioned it.
It's like if you stay here any longer, it might split. It might split. Before you split, before you leave, I want to ask you our poll question. Why not? Save time and money by downloading TrueCar's mobile app. Configure the new car you want. Then see what others paid for it and lock in guaranteed savings from TrueCar certified dealers in your area. Most users save over $3 grand less than MSRP. Save time, save money, and never overpay. Download the TrueCar app today. Chris Brockman, what is the poll question?
Well, today is Friday the 13th,
Yes.
so we were thinking earlier today, Ted and I, what's the most ridiculous bad luck superstition?
Okay.
So people talk about Friday the 13th, broken mirror, crossing a path with a black cat, umbrella indoors, you're not supposed to open those, or walking under a ladder.
What do you say, Dick?
Walking under a ladder seems like a bad thing to do generally, so I'm not going to go with that one.
Okay.
I mean, I can see why that's a reasonable thing to think is a bad thing to do.
Right.
I'm going to go with the black cat.
Yeah.
They're everywhere, the black cats.
They are.
You can't not walk in, run around, and not see a black cat.
And what is that? Is that number one?
26% of the people agree with you, Dick. Good enough for second place. Friday the 13th, 34%.
There you go. But again, disproving that whole idea that it's bad luck. It's now gone up. Dick, your stock's gone up 32 cents. You've been here.
Sit here all day and watch you do this.
It's the Rich Eisen Show boost. This is fantastic. Who says that it's bad luck on Friday the 13th? Good to see you, Dick. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
That's Dick Costolo, the CEO of Twitter.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.